What's up, Broncos country? You won't believe what just went down here in Denver. While everyone was focused on the next game, the Broncos front office decided to make a move that nobody expected. We're talking about an addition that could completely shake up our offensive roster. A name that was once considered one of the biggest draft promises. An athlete who has everything it takes to bring that explosion we so desperately need on offense. Stick with me until the end of this video because I'm going to break down every detail of this decision and what it could mean for our team's future. And you can bet on it, this could be the beginning of something big. All right, let's get straight to the point. The Denver Broncos just brought in Treylon Burks for a workout here at the team facility. That's right, family. Treylon Burks, the wide receiver who was selected in the first round of the 2022 draft by the Tennessee Titans, is in Denver testing his skills and showing what he still has to offer. Now, before we dive into what this means, let me tell you who Treylon Burks is and why this name should make you pay close attention. When Burks was drafted in 2022, the guy was seen as one of the most complete receivers in that class. We're talking about an athlete who's 6'3", weighing over 220 pounds, with an insane combination of size, speed, and ability to make plays after the catch. The guy played at the University of Arkansas and was a machine at producing yards. He was the 18th pick in the draft, first round, people. The Titans invested heavily in him because they believed Burks would be the missing piece to make their offense take off. But things didn't go as planned. His rookie season in 2022 was complicated. Just 33 receptions for 444 yards and 1 touchdown. Numbers that are well below what's expected from a first-round receiver. Injuries got in the way. Adapting to the professional game was difficult, and the Titans' offensive system didn't seem to get the best out of him. In 2023, things got worse. Burks had an even more forgettable season, and ultimately, Tennessee decided it was time to move on. And that's where we come into play, Broncos country. Now you must be wondering, why are the Broncos interested in a guy who couldn't establish himself in Tennessee? That's an excellent question. Let me explain the vision that Sean Payton and the scouting department might be having here. First point, talent doesn't disappear overnight. Burks is still only 24 years old. He's younger than several receivers entering the draft this year. The guy still has a lot of gas in the tank and plenty of room to grow. Sometimes a player just needs the right environment, the right scheme, and the right coaches to take off. And when we talk about Sean Payton, we're talking about one of the best offensive minds in the NFL. The guy has a proven track record of taking players who didn't shine elsewhere and turning them into important pieces of the offense. Second point, Burks' physical characteristics are exactly what the Broncos need. Look at our current roster. We've got Courtland Sutton as our undisputed WR1. Jerry Jeudy left in the offseason, and now we have a rotation with Josh Reynolds, Marvin Mims Jr., and other young talents. But let's face it, family, we need more depth at this position. Burks brings a differentiated physical profile. He's big, strong, can fight for contested balls, and has the ability to break tackles after the catch. This type of receiver is valuable in any offensive scheme, but especially in Payton's system. Third point, timing. The Broncos are in a crucial phase of the season. Every game matters. Every win brings us closer to the playoffs. We can't afford to have injuries or lack of options on offense. This is a workout, an evaluation. The Broncos want to see how Burks is physically, if he still has that explosion, if he's committed. It's smart roster management. Hey, if you're true Broncos country and don't want to miss any updates about our team, then click that subscribe button right now. Turn on the notification bell and don't forget to drop that to boost the algorithm and spread the love for Broncos country. Let's go together, family. One of the things Payton values most in his offense is versatility. He wants receivers who can play in the slot, on the outside, who can run short and deep routes, who can block in the running game. Burks has all these capabilities. Let's think about specific situations where Burks could help. Red zone threat. Having a big receiver who can fight for high balls and win physical matchups against smaller defensive backs would be extremely valuable. Burks has the size and athletic ability to be a real threat in these situations. Third down conversions. Burks was very good at making the important catch and gaining yards after the catch to get the first down. This ability to be physical after the reception can make a difference in critical moments. Formation, flexibility. Peyton loves using different formations to confuse defenses. Burks could line up on the outside on one play, come into the slot on the next, and even play as an H-back in heavy formations. This flexibility is what makes an offense unpredictable. Now, we have to be realistic here, family. We can't expect Burks to arrive and immediately become a star. If the Broncos decide to sign him, it would probably be to join the practice squad initially, where he could learn the system, gain conditioning, and prove he deserves a chance on the active roster. But the practice squad isn't a death sentence. Many players who are starters in the NFL today began on the practice squad. And chances always come in the NFL. Injuries happen, players lose performance, situations change. There's also the motivational aspect. Imagine being selected in the first round with all those expectations, and 2 years later you're looking for a job. That has to hurt, has to create an insane hunger to prove everyone wrong. That kind of motivation can transform players. We've seen this happen countless times in the NFL. Remember Ryan Tannehill? He was the Miami Dolphins quarterback for years and never really took off there. Then he went to Tennessee and suddenly became one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the league, leading the Titans to the AFC Championship game. Or Geno Smith. The guy was considered a bust as a quarterback, spent years as a backup, and when he finally got another chance to be a starter in Seattle, he went to the Pro Bowl. The point is, the NFL is full of cases of players who resurrected when they found the right environment. And Denver, with Sean Payton at the helm, could be exactly that environment for Treylon Burks. Payton has a track record of doing this. He took guys like Marquez Colston, a 7th-round receiver nobody knew, and turned him into one of the best in Saints franchise history. Let me talk about something we often forget, the human side. Treylon Burks is a human being, not just a football player. He has dreams. He has a family that believes in him. He's worked his whole life to get to the NFL. And now he's at a moment where he needs to prove again that he belongs in the league, the pressure of being a first-round pick who didn't live up to expectations, the doubt that arises when things don't work out, the desire to show that everyone was wrong, to give up on him. And you know what? That kind of inner fire can be exactly what separates a mediocre player from a great player. When you have something to prove, when your pride is hurt but you still have talent, incredible things can happen. If the Broncos give this chance to Burks, they're not just adding a player to the roster. They're giving a young athlete the opportunity to resurrect his career, to fulfill his dreams, to prove his worth. And that, Broncos country, is beautiful to see. That's why we love this sport. It's not just X's and O's, it's not just numbers and statistics. It's people, it's journeys, it's chances at redemption. Let's talk about how the possible addition of Burks would affect the Broncos' current roster. Courtland Sutton would continue being our WR1, without a doubt. But after Sutton, we have several guys fighting for snaps and opportunities. Josh Reynolds has been solid. Marvin Mims Jr. shows flashes of great potential, but is still inconsistent. Burks would enter this competition. And competition is healthy, family. When you have several talented guys fighting for positions, everyone elevates their game. Nobody can get comfortable. This would also give Sean Payton more flexibility on game days. He could create specific packages for each receiver's strengths, rotate players to keep them fresh, and have options in case someone suffers an injury during the game. And in the long term, if Burks really takes off here, we could be looking at an absolutely dominant receiver duo with Sutton and Burks on the outside. Two big physical guys who can win any matchup. Defensive coordinators would have nightmares trying to stop this offense. The Broncos are in a phase where every decision matters. We're building something special here in Denver, and part of that construction involves making calculated bets on players who can bring value. Treylon Burks is exactly that kind of bet. The risk is relatively low. If he doesn't impress in the workout, the Broncos simply move on. If he impresses but isn't ready to contribute immediately, he goes to the practice squad and continues developing. And if he really shows he still has that first-round talent, then we have a potential game changer on the roster. This type of move also sends a message to the locker room. It shows that the organization is committed to doing everything possible to win. Whether it's an established veteran or a young talent who needs a second chance, the Broncos are willing to give opportunities to whoever can help. And that creates a winning culture, family. When players see the organization working hard to improve the team, they also elevate their level of commitment and intensity. The NFL is a league of attrition. Injuries happen, and when they do, you need to have players ready to step in and perform. The more quality you have in roster depth, the better prepared you are to deal with adversity. And with the season reaching its most critical moments, having options is essential. Look, I'm going to be really honest with you here. I love this type of move. I love when teams are aggressive, when they're not afraid to give chances to players that other teams gave up on. The NFL is a league where the difference between a mediocre team and a contender can be just one or two pieces. And often those pieces come from unexpected places. The Broncos doing this workout with Treylon Burks shows the mentality that Sean Payton brought to this organization. We're not satisfied with mediocrity. We're always looking for ways to improve, always turning over stones, always trying to find that edge that can make the difference between winning and losing. And honestly, I think Burks can work out here. He has the talent, he has the motivation, and now he might have the right system and coaching to finally show why he was a first-round pick. I'm not saying he's going to arrive and be all-pro immediately, but I believe there's a real chance he can become a valuable contributor to our offense. And in the NFL, that's all you can ask for. So that's it, Broncos country. The Denver Broncos brought in Treylon Burks for a workout, and this could be the beginning of something very interesting. Let's watch closely to see if the Broncos decide to sign him, if he goes to the practice squad or integrates directly into the active roster. But regardless of what happens, this move shows that our organization is committed to doing everything to win. Even if Burks isn't signed immediately, the simple fact that the Broncos are doing this workout shows something important. The front office is being proactive. They're constantly evaluating options, looking for ways to improve the roster, leaving no stone unturned. This mentality is what separates mediocre teams from winning teams. And the Broncos, under the leadership of Sean Payton and George Paton, are showing exactly that mentality. So, Denver Broncos family, what do you think? Do you want to see Burks wearing the orange and blue? Do you believe he can resurge here in Denver? Comment below with your opinion. I want to know what the family is thinking. And don't forget, if you enjoyed this video, drop that big like, share it with all your friends who are also Broncos country, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because here we bring all the news, analysis, and behind the scenes of our beloved Denver Broncos. Let's go together, family. Believe in the process, trust in Sean Payton, and get ready because this season is still going to bring us lots of joy. Broncos country, see you in the next video. Leave in the comments, do you want Burks in Denver? See you later, and God bless the Broncos.